The new house was perfect for hide and seek. Every room was a world in itself, in the basement, a dark maze of shadows. My brother Billy was hiding, and I was counting slowly in the kitchen with my eyes shut tight. 99, 100. Ready or not, here I come. The thrill of the hunt was always the best part. I started with the ground floor, peeking behind the couch, under the dining table, even inside the fireplace. But I didn't see him. "I'm coming, Billy," I shouted, my voice echoing in the empty rooms. A shiver ran down my spine as I descended into the basement. The air was heavy, and the only light came from the dim glow of the Minecraft screen we left running. Billy had always been a better player than me, building towering fortresses and intricate contraptions. I envied his skills, but loved the games we played together. "Found you," I yelled as I reached the computer. But the chair was empty. A wave of panic washed over me. Billy was nowhere to be seen. Suddenly, the Minecraft world on the screen flickered. It wasn't the game anymore. It was a pixelated version of our basement. I saw a tiny figure, unmistakably Billy, running through the virtual labyrinth. I raced back upstairs, my heart pounding, and grabbed my own controller. Logging into our world, I spawned right beside my virtual brother. "Billy, it's me," I typed in the chat, but he didn't respond. Instead, he kept running, deeper and deeper into the digital basement, pursued by a horde of pixelated zombies. I chased after him, frantically building blocks to protect us from the monsters. The real world faded away as I focused on keeping my brother safe, even if it was just in a game. But the zombies were relentless, and soon Billy's health bar was flashing red. With a final groan, his character fell to the ground, and the screen went dark. I stared at the blank monitor, tears welling in my eyes. It was just a game, wasn't it? But the fear in my brother's virtual eyes was real, and the chilling thought remained. If Billy could get trapped in Minecraft, could the creatures of the game find their way out? As I sat there in the silence, I heard a soft whimper from behind me. Turning, I saw Billy, his face pale and his eyes wide with terror, emerging from the shadows of the real basement. "They almost got me," he whispered, clinging to me, and in that moment I knew that the line between our virtual world and reality was thinner than we'd ever imagined. The familiar chime of Minecraft's opening music filled my ears as I settled into my gaming chair. After a long day, nothing beat the relaxing rhythm of mining, building, and exploring. Tonight, I plan to expand my sprawling underground base, adding a library to house my growing collection of enchanted books. The world loaded, the pixelated landscape stretching out before me. I grabbed my diamond pickaxe, ready to carve out a new cavern. But as I swung at the stone wall, a strange glitch rippled across the screen. The familiar textures of dirt and cobblestone warped, twisting into grotesque shapes that seemed to writhe and pulse. A shiver ran down my spine. Glitches sometimes happened in Minecraft, but this felt different, more sinister. Ignoring the unease, I continued mining, the rhythmic clang of my pickaxe echoing through the digital world. But the glitches grew more frequent, the edges of the world fraying like a worn tapestry. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed from the darkness ahead. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. In the flickering light of my torch, I saw a figure emerge from the shadows. It was tall and gaunt, its limbs elongated and distorted, its skin a patchwork of corrupted textures. I stumbled backward, raising my pickaxe in defense, but the figure didn't attack. Instead, it tilted its head. Its eyes, if they could even be called that, burned into me with an unsettling intensity. Somehow fear turned to curiosity. What was this creature? A new mob? A glitch gone rogue? I cautiously approached the figure, my hand hovering over my sword. It stood perfectly still, its gaze fixed on me. As I got closer, I noticed a disturbing detail. Its skin seemed to be made of the same corrupted textures as the glitching world around me. A chilling thought crossed my mind. What if this wasn't just a glitch? What if it was a reflection of the corruption spreading through the game, a digital infection threatening to consume everything? Suddenly, the figure lunged. I barely had time to raise my sword before it struck, its corrupted touch sending a jolt of pain through my arm. I cried out, dropping my sword and clutching my injured limb. The pain was real. It burned like acid, radiating up my arm. I stared at it in horror, seeing the same corrupted textures spreading across my skin. They seemed to mirror the creature's touch. I screamed. I ripped off my headset and leapt from my chair. My arm throbbed with pain, the corruption continuing to spread. I stumbled backward, my eyes fixed on the monitor where the figure stood, its distorted grin growing wider. As the corrupted pixels consumed my vision, I realized the terrifying truth. The infection wasn't just in the game, it was in me. The Nether was my sanctuary, a fiery hellscape where I could escape the monotony of the overworld. Armed with my fire resistance potions, I delved into the crimson forests, the glow of netherrack illuminating my path. My mission? To collect a stack of blaze rods for brewing potions of strength. The air crackled with heat, the ground trembled beneath my feet. Ghasts wailed in the distance, their spectral tears falling like fiery rain. But I pressed on, my diamond armor shimmering in the infernal light. Reaching a fortress, I cautiously entered, my enchanted bow at the ready. Blazes danced in the air, their fiery rods tempting me forward. I drew an arrow, carefully aiming for a blaze's core. With a twang, the arrow flew, striking its target and causing the blaze to drop its precious cargo. 1 down, 19 to go. I continued my hunt, dodging fireballs and the swipes of vengeful blazes. The fortress was a maze of corridors and bridges, each corner hiding potential danger. But I was focused, my determination fueled by the promise of power. As I collected my 10th blaze rod, a strange sound echoed through the fortress. It was a low, guttural growl, unlike anything I'd heard before. The hairs on my neck stood on end. I spun around, my bow drawn, but saw nothing. Then the growl grew louder, closer. It seemed to be coming from the very walls of the fortress, as if the structure itself was alive. Suddenly, the netherrack beneath my feet began to shift. Cracks appeared, glowing with an eerie light. I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. From the cracks, tendrils of molten rock erupted, twisting and writhing like serpents. They lashed out, searing my armor and draining my health. I fired arrows frantically, but they seemed to have no effect. The fortress was crumbling around me, the air thick with smoke and the stench of sulfur. I knew I had to escape, but the tendrils blocked my path, their fiery embrace threatening to consume me. Desperate, I threw a splash potion of fire resistance at my feet, hoping to create a temporary barrier. The potion exploded, sending flames licking at the tendrils, forcing them back momentarily. I seized the opportunity. I sprinted towards the nearest exit without looking back. The ground shook violently, the fortress groaning in agony. Just as I reached the portal, a massive tendril slammed down, shattering the obsidian frame. I dove through the swirling vortex, the heat of the nether clinging to me like a second skin. I landed hard on the cool grass of the overworld, grasping for air. Turning back, I watched in horror as the portal collapsed, the nether's corruption seeping into the peaceful landscape. The sky turned a sickly green, the trees twisting into grotesque shapes. I knew then that I had unleashed something terrible, a force far more powerful than any blaze rod. The nether's corruption had found a foothold in the overworld, and it was up to me to stop it before it consumed everything.